Look, I know it's been a long time, okay, I've tried, but anyway, today we'll be reviewing some comebacks that have happened sometime this year. I don't know, it's been a long time. Most of these recordings are from like ages ago, so I have had them, I just haven't been able to use them until now. Luckily, thank God I have the time. I apologise for not being able to upload for anything in the past month. I say apologise, I'm sorry, but at the same time I couldn't do anything about it. There was so much going on. So to all of you 20 people who have subscribed to me, thank you for staying. I appreciate you a lot, and thanks for sticking around to me ranting about opinions that inevitably no one will care about, but who cares, it's just for fun. So like the video I did in April, May, sometime back then at the start of lockdown. I have no idea, everything in the past 5 months has just been a blur. I will be talking about comebacks or releases since the start of May, I think. Bearing in mind, I'll be mostly talking about the comebacks by groups or soloists that I'm a fan of or that I keep up with generally, or any ones that really kind of stood out to me or that I liked. I also won't be including any Japanese releases, so I won't be talking about Stay Gold or Your Eyes Tell, even though they are probably some of the best releases this year. I'm being probably very biased, but at the same time BTS makes good music, so yeah, there we are. Or just a warning though, your favourite group or artist might not be on here, or you might not agree with what I say about certain songs or certain comebacks or how I felt about it. But that's fine, it's just the beauty of art and music, it's subjective, and there's many interpretations and opinions to have on it, so don't take anything personal or anything, it's just having fun and talking about what we like at the end of the day, okay? And you know what, if you disagree you can make your own video or write your own piece about it, because nothing's stopping you, it's good. Okay, I think I've spoken enough now, probably, I hope so. So, let's go. So first of all, I'm just going to go through some songs that I enjoyed a lot, but I didn't really keep up with the comeback or artists, but I just wanted to talk about them because I enjoyed them, but I don't really have enough material for a whole section or a whole in-depth review on them, but I still enjoyed them as songs though. Who Dis? Who Dis? Who Dis? Who This? Yeah, by Secret Number. I was quite surprised by how much I enjoyed this at first, because honestly, I'm not gonna lie, there haven't been as many rookie groups or debuts that have really caught my eye this year. Other than like Gravity, there hasn't been that much, I'm not gonna lie. Oops, but I guess it's coming off, I've mentioned this before, but coming off a year 2019 which had ITZY, Everglow, TXT, 80s, CIX, AB6. There were so many strong rookies last year which had so many good songs and amazing debuts that, I'm not gonna lie, it is quite hard to reach that standard last year, but I think there have been a few good examples, and Secret Number's debut being one of this. I really like this song. The use of the trumpets and the horns, that kind of melody throughout made this really catchy and like really fun to kind of like dance to as well, and the bass as well. And I think the vocals of the members were really good in this as well, considering they are a rookie group. I think there were really good sections where the vocals were really used really well, especially for me, probably the pre-chorus. I love that bit so much, and how I kind of like it when a voice and the melody doesn't go together, or doesn't kind of like aren't on the same kind of like pitch right away, or the same kind of, I like how when a voice and melody isn't on the same pitch, and it kind of sounds like it layers really well there, and that's what they do in the pre-chorus that I really like. Also the bridge also really shows their vocals, but the bridge and the chorus is very similar, so that's a really standout bit for me. If you'd notice, I've said really a lot, because as my vocab isn't that wide, it hasn't got a lot of variety, unfortunately. It just works for me really well. I really like the styling as well, and the girls have so much confidence which I really like. Also the after chorus where it's like, I'm not a stranger, I'm not in danger. I'm not a stranger, I'm not in danger. That bit, that's probably the only part I'm going to sing at all in this whole video, because let's not ruin this. Yeah. But this is definitely probably my favourite debut song so far this year. I'm excited to see what secret number we'll do next. Secret Story of the Swan. Eyes One. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. If not, correct me, but I don't know. The starting bit literally makes me jump every single time because it comes out of nowhere, but I actually love it so much. For some reason, I didn't actually listen to this song when it came out. I just started to listen to it more as I saw it performed on music shows. But after a while, it became really, really stuck in my head, like so much. I think that's when I became obsessed with this song. I've never been too interested in Eyes One. I mean, I know they're amazing, like they have really good vocals and their dances are amazing as well, and they've had great songs, but nothing has ever made me be like, yes, I want to listen to them now, I want to learn the member's name, I want to listen to more of their songs until now. Probably just my preference, but this song is definitely my favourite from them, and it also has my favourite choreos of the year. The choreography is so good, and like I mentioned, the dance break is amazing. I also really love the styling as well of the outfits they had in the music videos and on their comeback stages. I don't know, maybe it's something about swans this year and the swans being in songs, but I'm glad I just gave the song a chance, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be on my end of 2020 list. I'm falling down, 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 down. 완벽한 바다에 추락하는 별. 1. Lucid Dream, Golden Child. It seems like this year I'm liking a lot of releases from groups that I've heard of before but never really have paid attention to, as Golden Child is another case. Funny story on how I came across this song. I was watching Chan's live, because he does weekly lives which are literally the best things ever, and it was during when they were promoting Stray Kids' comeback this year, and he was playing songs on the live stream which were also songs that were being promoted on music shows at the time, and he played this song on the live stream, and I was instantly like, what the hell is this song? I love it, oh my god. So I asked my friends, and then I got the answer. The beautiful deep bass throughout, coupled with the subtle EDM that isn't too overwhelming but also does enough to give you an energized experience, is so good. It works so well together, and I just love the build up and structure of this song so much. Like, it always gives you enough, it doesn't leave you hanging as well. The electric guitar present throughout almost gives a nostalgic twist of kind of rock infused with like a synth songs from like decades ago, if that makes sense, but it just also gives that nice modern kind of like the original kind of K-pop EDM drop kind of twist, but again doesn't give you too much that overwhelms you, it just gives you enough. I just think also the mix of vocals going from really, really using the low baritones of their voice to the high pitches as well, especially when it goes, I'm going down, down, down in the chorus. It's just very, very good. I'm so glad I discovered this song because it's so good. It's just the production of this song is amazing. Like, I just wish there were more songs that had this perfect, seemingly production of just having everything just being there and being right and being structured so well. Oh my god, it really did stand out to me compared to a lot of releases this year. And honestly, if you haven't heard it, please check it out. It's so good. Thank you, Golden Child.
Just tell me what you're waiting for, baby, I've been waiting for. You want this time I'm faded, maybe I'm drunk and wasted. Tell me what you're waiting for.
What you're waiting for, So Me. Again, this is another release that I'm very surprised of how much I like this song. With waiting over a year for another release from So Me since Birthday, which got a lot of mixed reactions, which I personally enjoyed, but I can see why people didn't enjoy it as much. I didn't really have massive expectations from this, considering it was Teddy producing it, and I'll get to Teddy later. And we all know what he's like. If you do, you know, we know. but my expectations were completely shattered at this one, and it's probably one of my favourite solo releases of the year. This song encompasses confidence and running and working hard and just the thrill of the chase and blood pumping through your veins. I really just quoted Sherlock, what the fuck. It's just working for a goal, working for that prize you've always really wanted. It has that massive adrenaline rush as well. It's structured really, really well, I think. And I like how it does feel cohesive this time and not kind of 4 songs mashed up into one, like Birthday kind of felt like, whilst this feels obviously more cohesive as well. Somi has a really soft voice, and I think it is really used well in the song. It's really enjoyable as well. The song is just basically hyped on like being ready and that adrenaline rush. It's really done well. But when the bridge comes along, I didn't expect how good the bridge would be, and it just elevates it even more that I really didn't expect. I don't know if I've said this yet, but 2020 is the year of the bridges. If there's something good about 2020, is that so many releases and songs have really good bridges, and that's really good. And then of course, when the Ring the Alarm comes in, you have a really well done drop that I really expected would be in each chorus. But I'm so happy that they just kept it to the last one, so it's a really, really nice payoff. And the drop is pretty good as well. It's a bit like, it's very energised and it's very loud as well, but it's also, again, not too overwhelming, which I think is a perfect balance in my opinion. I really enjoyed this song much more than I thought, which I'm really happy with, because I also think Somi deserves this as well. And I'm happy that I enjoyed it, and I just hope that she releases some new songs soon and not in a year again.
Left and right, left and right, left and right, rip it, rip it. Left and right, left and right, left and right, rip it, rip it.
Left and right. 17. They have never really disappointed with their releases at all. What I like about 17 is that they create music for themselves. Like, you will hear one of their title tracks and you will go, oh yeah, that's a 17 song. Left and Right is so catchy. Like, the way it's structured and how it builds up throughout the song is mastered so well, especially during the pre-chorus. It's just so much fun. Also, the dance is amazing. And also, thank you to S-Coops for saving 2020 with his verse. Thank you so much. Thank you. There's a lot happening this year, but thank you for that. The music video was so fun as well. I think I'm just saying this about a lot of music videos, but they seem to be really fun this year. This one just completely knocks it out of the park more than any others though. It's just so random and chaotic. You've got a point where there's just a car, but it's like blasting off into space like it's a rocket. It's just like, I don't get it, but I love it. But it really went well with the upbeat song, and it was so just exciting to watch. It just had a really good balance in the song. The verses were structured well in the song, and it had great cohesion and transitions in the verses and choruses. One of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to songs is when transitions between verses and choruses aren't cohesive or do not match. Like, they sound like 2 different songs, which we might see examples of later. But with 17, they did it right, and I'm so thankful for that. Overall, I really like the song, and it has a cheeky edge to it. It's playful, and it's a song that stands out a lot compared to more dark concepts out this year, which is nice to see. And the last sort of quick one to discuss is 8 by IU featuring Sugar. This is a perfect coming of age song, that in between section of life when you're transitioning from a teen to a young adult. New experiences are made, new feelings are felt, both being the best times of your life as well as the most painful memories. In those times when you just stop and pause before you make this big journey and leap into a new stage of life, you look back and feel nostalgic towards memories that you made that made you smile, but also shaped the person you are today. A conversation between past, present and future you. The song for me was so elevated and so done well. Like, so many people could have done this song and it wouldn't have brought the same nostalgic feelings and emotions of happiness that it gave. And that could have been from IU's voice or the way it was produced, but it really was an always perfect song for me. Aid's production is something so beautiful and hopeful, but also solemn at the same time. IU's voice, I mean, we all know how magical her voice is and how she is one of the greatest vocalists, but in this song you can feel and understand the emotions in her voice. The feeling of wanting and longing for the memories and experience of the past. And Yoongi's verse, of course, makes so much sense and works so well in the song. Yoongi's soft and mellow voice, along with his flow, goes perfectly and goes with the journey of the song, and I loved his inclusion so much. Again, he is my ultimate bias, so there is going to be bias, let's be honest. This is a song that I will constantly go back to, no matter what time of year, and I have many times throughout the past couple of months. It is that impactful and that good, and it really does show. I'm just very grateful for it existing, because it's nice to have a song like this, especially while I am a knife as well. I think I relate to the lyrics and the feeling of the song a lot, so I'm very happy that it exists. Anyway, that is my shortish reviews on some releases this year, but now I'll talk about the comebacks that really caught my eye.
Can't you see me? 맛보니 그날처럼 say believe me. 불타버린 내 맘을 come and feel me. Oh, can't you see me? My friends don't understand me, no.
Can't You See Me, Tomorrow by Together. Just a warning, the next reviews are going to be quite long, since I'm probably going to go on a tangent a lot and talk about these a lot. It's going to be a lot, if you haven't noticed. I've said that word many times. It feels like ages since this has been released. Time is really weird. Coming off Runaway, as well as one of the best mini albums of 2019, I did have very high hopes for this release. Also, with TXT impressing me so much last year, there were a lot of high expectations around this anyway. Surprisingly, I wasn't that into Can't You See Me at first when I listened to it. I don't know why. I think for me it just didn't hit where I thought it would hit for me, and because I had expectations of something else and it didn't fit it that much, I was kind of like, oh, okay. But it has aged like a fine, mature but bitter wine, sharing a hint of sultriness and relaxation, but with an underlying evil and a sinister tone. A bit like the song and the concept of it itself. But clearly, I love this song so much now. I mean, clearly it's my intro, I like it. It wouldn't be there if I didn't like it. I love the echo effect of the see me at the start. It is already, as that effect really does set up how the song will be. It gives a sense of loneliness, and I think obviously that is completely present throughout this comeback and concept as well. When listening to it, I thought it was taking me a certain direction, but it didn't go where I thought it would and kind of wanted it to go. Therefore I was left feeling empty after first hearing it, and that's why I wasn't as into it when I first listened to it. The more I listened to it though, the more I fell in love with it. The electric guitar in the chorus, it kind of adds to this grunge and more rebellious concept going on. And it is really good. The chorus really stands out now. It's so good. I belt it out like almost every day. Together, together, forever, forever. A seemingly cute line symbolising friendship and staying friends forever. I love how the meaning of it has changed as we progress through the song and music video. Together and forever by curse or death. It builds up in certain spots, like you're about to get what you want in the song, like it's all fine, but then it subverts your expectations and takes you another way. And for what the song is, and the whole message, and like I said, the concepts of the era and the music video and what they were going for, it works perfectly. Speaking of the music video, holy shit, it is a cinematic masterpiece. I love how it flickers between good and evil, almost referring back to the song Angel and Devil, even though Angel and Devil obviously was more of a bright kind of uplifting song with a more uplifting music video. It still kind of has that kind of cohesion through, you know, the dream chapter, and I think that's so good. I love it when artists kind of refer back to their old songs or old albums or concepts that, you know, that fit in the timeline. I love that so much. The use of bright, alive scenery and the colour palette of whites, beiges with pastel greens, blues, yellows and oranges and pinks brings back to the day of Crown and their debut days, you know, being young again, having that youthful spirit, not being tainted with anything yet. Continuing the motif of friendship and sticking together like all of them have since starting the story. Everything seems fine, and that is obviously seen in the music video at the start when Subin invites everyone around to the house just to have a nice, friendly, whatever, you know, everything seems fine. Then dark, black, harsh colours, dark shades of red, amber, grey and green, shadowing that once happiness and joy the friends had, all now gone as Subin cries out, "Can't you see me?" They turn against each other, anger, wrath, evil, the only thing being the light in the circumstances, the glowing yellow and orange of the house on fire, the bloody tomatoes representing death and loss. We don't know what's happening, but it's also clear neither do they, or at least some of them don't. This music video is so good, and I love the story throughout of how it seems some members knows what's going on, like Yeonjun, very sus, but also how Subin might know something, but also Beomgyu is acting a bit sus, you know. They might know something, but they also don't know what's going on and how they start killing each other. The choreo for this was so fun as well. I mean, it was fun, but it also works so well with the song. And it's not out there, you know, trying to make an iconic dance move or point part. It's out there being like, no, we're going to put on a performance and make sure it represents the song well and its meaning. Being a combination of slow, smooth move and moments into jerky and sudden moves, again really fitting with the music video, and the sudden turn from bright and happy to something sinister and foreboding. And this theme is also carried on in the Eternally music video, which is probably the most artistic and best short film released this year. Not only is it probably the best music video released this year, it's give it an Oscar. Oscar now, give it. Because this is more than a music video, this is an experience, as its artistry and creativity is unmatched. Anyway, talking about the mini album now, considering that is a massive part of it, they did not disappoint at all. My favourite songs probably being Fairy of Shampoo, Eternally, Amazing the Mirror. Fairy of Shampoo, oh my god. I have never ever heard a song like this, never mind the K-pop industry and everyone underneath it. I've never heard an amazing, just jazzy, kind of 1920s, kind of that old era of Hollywood, kind of, you know, the trumpets, but also seems so mystical, like you would see like a fairy tale or something. And it's just everything that I love in a song, and I'm just so happy with it. There's so much I could go on about. There's so much more I could go on about. And I think I've spoken enough for now and everything, and I don't really want to go further because of how long this is already. But basically, do not underrate TXT. They have grown into themselves and they have found their path. They know their sound and concept. These boys now know what they're here for. They're a force to be reckoned with. Having this creativity, having this artistry, the production, the lyrics of their songs, plus their performances, it's pretty impressive for a one-year-old group to already have found their footing in the industry, managing to differentiate themselves from the crowd, however continuing to rise up and set high expectations. I can't wait to see what they do next, and the music industry should be watching closely as well. Punch, NCT 127. Yes, the start of this song does sound like a keyboard smash of symbols, punctuation and numbers, which works really well and it sounds great, and I love how NCT's sound is so distinct that they can really make anything into a song. That can be a double-edged sword though. Like quite a lot of people, I couldn't remember Punch a lot after the first 2 or 3 listens to it, maybe because there wasn't something as distinct in it like there was in their other songs like Kick It or Superhuman. I thought I would forget this song very quickly. Well, I was wrong. I like the whispery and the breathy raps, and it does feel like a race or something like that, and it's something adrenaline filled. The amount of blues and kind of silvers in the music video and the whole concepts I really like as well. It gives this kind of icy, a beautiful electric and ultramarine and sapphire painted all over this comeback really adds to the song's frosty and chilling tone, but also adds to its futuristic design and concept as well. Also, for the first time listening to the comeback was also my first time listening to the Neozone album in full, since this was the repackage for it. I just happened to have enough time. Non-stop is definitely my favourite on the album. Yeah, I know that's everyone else's favourite, but it's for a good reason. But for the Neozone album in itself, with that, my favourites are probably Daydream, Not Alone and Love Song. I was really impressed by the album. There were a lot of songs that I liked, and I loved the cohesion of the album and how the songs connected to each other. I love the different sounds and the genres of the songs. You do really get a good variety. The music video was so fun as well. It did feel like a video game, like one of those retro racing games from back in the 90s or something. I love the glitchy and smoky effects used on the members as well as the video game set. It all just comes together beautifully and the concept is so well thought out. However, I don't think Punch hits as hard as Kick It. It sounds quite violent. There's something about Punch that doesn't give it the extra oomph that Kick It does. Maybe it's because it's a repackaged song. Overall, Punch is good. It didn't blow my mind, but it's still decent. It's not as good as Kick It, but the album is really good and I like the concepts, and I'm just really happy that NCT has had a really good showing this year.
I feel like I became a zombie. 머리와 심장이 텅 빈 생각 없는 어수와비 언제부터 이렇게 된 걸까? Oh why?
Day 6. Zombie. I'm going to start this off with a personal note. When I first heard the English version of Zombie, I actually did cry. The lyrics spoke to me so much more than any song had in a while. At the time when it was released, I was in a really bad state mentally, and still today it's not the best, unfortunately. And I couldn't express how I felt physically, mentally and emotionally, which made it really hard for me to connect and talk to others. However, Zombie spoke all the words that I couldn't find. Everything the song mentioned I could relate to. Feeling like a zombie, not alive but I'm still walking, the lyrics say. Feeling like an empty human being just going on but not really being there either. Feeling so defeated all the time, but not having the strength to continue all the time either. Zombie really explained everything for me. I do love how mellow and softer it sounded compared to the more hard rock and harsh sounding songs like Sweet Chaos that they have released before. It was laced with pain and sadness, on the verge of giving up, and the beat felt very tedious and slow, a cry for help but drowned out by sorrow and the silence of not caring anymore. And the silence of not caring anymore for yourself. I also enjoy the music video of this. It tied so much with the meaning of the song and really visualised how I felt as well. The members' vocals on the song stretches out the pain and long for it to stop. The members are putting their heart and soul into this song and the lyrics, which you can really tell. Yeah, we live a life. Such a meaningless life. Says so much. Playing down how unimportant life seems as their mind is at its lowest. Going on to the album, it is a really good listen. I'm not just saying this because I like Day 6's music, and they generally make good music anyway. I really do think that this is one of the best mini albums this year. It's a journey of highs and lows, songs like Day and Night and TikTok giving a very early summer nights and nostalgic feeling, looking back on a time that you want to go back to. Love Me or Leave Me seems to be a fight with a partner or a loved one, or even yourself about the relationship you have and questioning it. Stop reminds you of when your mind is messing with you, and that's the same with 1 to 10. But Afraid, that's the song that really got to me. I mean, being afraid and the fear of the unknown is the main point for most people's stress and worry, and this song basically ties up the mini album perfectly. Basically my point is that the mini album all connects to Zombie, and all the songs are branches of this numb feeling of depression or anxiety that causes your mind and mentality to question everything and to look back at a better time in the past, but not being able to ground yourself in the present. As I mentioned, over the lockdown I did struggle with really bad mental health, and that's also another reason why I haven't been able to upload videos that much. Having an album full of songs that I could understand the messages of and interpret in my own way to help me understand what I was feeling and why I was feeling the way I was so freeing and validating. Of course, this review is full of subjectivity and personal bias because of how much this personally affected me, but that's fine. Not all reviews have to focus on both positives and negatives. It's just the experience of how I felt about each song or the album or release as a whole. I just wanted to talk about it, and right now I really can't see any flaws with this comeback at all. August D, D2. Okay, so I'm looking at my script that I kind of wrote for this, and it literally takes up like 2 pages of a Google Docs, so this is going to be long because I have a lot to say about this. First, if you're only here for me to slander this in any way, why? There's no way I'm going to be doing that. Also, Yoongi is my alt bias, so there's going to be a lot of bias. So, D2, the long-awaited comeback of August D that we have been waiting for since 2016. Oh my god. We've been teased for so long by Yoongi on him working on his new mixtape. This boy knows his audience. And it came. It saw and it conquered. There's so many theories and interpretations of the music video with what the king represents versus what August D represents versus, you know, the gun at the end versus the whole carbon. There's so much. And like the characters or the manifestation of Yoongi's mind through songwriting and music. There's so much to talk about to and analyse in the music video due to all the symbolism and meaning and context and exposition and how the lyrics match it as well. But I won't go into that today because we're talking about music. Just know that the music video is a must watch as it displays so much artistry. The guitar is so much fun. It's so raw and unapologetic. I also love how he incorporated traditional Korean instruments in there, and I really amplified the song to another level as well. The cohesion of the music video was so fun as well. In each scene there was always something going on that was fun or added to the message or symbolism of the song, which I really like. Yoongi's flow and rap is unmatched. Being able to change up the pace and the tone of each chorus or verse was so amazing and just added to the snarky and confident attitude the song was portraying. Basically, the main track was amazing. Digital is one of the best releases of this year by far, and it deserved all the success and attention. Now, on to the rest of the album. August D's self-titled album released in 2016 was already an impressive body of work that Yoongi put out, introducing us to his alter ego of August D and the tone and concept of the music and sound he produces. And it's clear in this album that he continues the tone and style as well as the messages he wants to get across in his songs. Moonlight is a soft but fun opening of the album, an upbeat song of someone who is a bit tipsy and has just got their hands on the mic and starts the entertainment of the night. A really fun start to a roller coaster of a ride. Obviously, Digital being the main track of the album does mix really well as the second track after Moonlight. This album has really good cohesion, which is one of my favourite things ever. Please, I just like it when albums and songs are cohesive. It just makes them so much better. And the tracks connect and flow into each other beautifully. Obviously, I've talked about this song and how it's one of my favourite releases of the year, so I will leave that there. What do you think follows up as a third track? And he really went in. I mean, he has every right to. The lyrics speak for itself. No too much deeper symbolism, just completely blunt and true to itself. But it's really Yoongi's vocal performance that gives the energy and vibe to the song. We also got another RM and Sugar collab on this. That's literally like 3 in 1 year with All Night, Respect and Now Strange. It is another standout of the album. I like the lonely sounds of the piano keys throughout, and it seems there's a power struggle with critiquing and being criticised. It's a piece that I would recommend to listen to it properly yourself and interpret it from there. 28 is a change in tone and vibe from the past songs, having a more peaceful and reminiscing feel to it. But it definitely gives the same vibes as 8 as well, which again is a really good song that I like. Burn is a fun, dangerous song that is really good to listen to. Max's voice suits perfectly for the song, and I think his feature was good. Also, the fact that I've been a fan of his since 2018 because he was one of the openers at Fall Out Boy concert that I went to. So I was pretty happy for him to be on this because I already really liked him anyway. Also, can we just talk how amazing Max has been with Yoongi and how actually supportive he is of BTS and is not just another Western celebrity using them for clout and numbers. And he's just so respectful of Yoongi and is just so... He's just such a nice person. It's just nice to see that and just... Yeah, it's really good. Also, Blueberry Eyes, which is the song Yoongi featured on his new album, is so good, so please listen to that as well. Anyway, back to Burn It. I love the electric guitars in the chorus as well and how they build up each time. It's probably one of my top 3s on the album. Console is an interesting song for the mind to delve into. The distorted harmonies and vocals melting together works really well. The interlude Set Me Free sounds like a distorted drug trip from the 70s and feels like you're flying in the clouds. And it's so great. Another recommendation I suggest. Now, Dear My Friend. I won't go too into depth on this song due to the possible story around this. You can search it up yourself. A really beautiful song that reminds me a bit of So Far Away, but also every time I think of it, I think of that one V Live that Namjoon and Jin did when they sang the chorus and burst into laughter every time. The solemn attitude it has, and it almost kind of like hurts, the almost kind of grief to it, but it's still laced with kind of moving on. It is one of the best ways to close this magnificent album. As you've probably noticed, I haven't mentioned one song yet, which is People. And there's a reason for that. It's because I want to save talking about this song for the end of the year, and that's what I'm going to leave it as. Overall, I know I didn't go really in depth with it because I'm thinking about time, but D2 is a masterpiece. This release was a masterpiece. 2020 is really Yoongi's year. He has owned the year despite everything that has gone on, breaking records, collaborating with many people and releasing his own body of work. This album is like an album I haven't heard in ages. It gives a sense of self-reflection and a time to pause, which I think I haven't had a lot of time to do this year. Yes, I'm probably really biased and being so subjective towards this. Many people, including myself, love this album so much, and it has left and lasting impacts and will for the next coming years. Sunmi, Pora Pi Bam. That's the only way I can say it because I still don't know how to say it properly, so I'm just going to say it in how it was in the song, Pora Pi Pam. Pora Pi Pam. There we are. This one is going to be a bit shorter considering this is only a single release, and I'm also worried on time and how much I've talked about other comebacks. I love the retro sound it has going on. The guitar throughout the background of the song really brought it to life, and it worked well with the rest of the synth and bass as well. I think there's almost kind of like a city pop aspect to it, which I really, really love, as I've been really into city pop songs lately. And also I feel like retro songs have been quite a theme in the past year, so it's interesting to see that trend going on as well. However, the opening tune before it really gets into that retro song feels so light and fluty, like you're in a daydream or your fantasies wishing for something better to happen. The electric purples, pinks and blues of the music video also connotes this dreamlike landscape, again complementing the romantic and lustful mood of the song. It is a beautiful love song, bringing out the joy and eventual falling in love, maybe for the first time or for the 7th time. However, it still brings that excitement of falling in love. Chorus has to be my favourite part. Sunmi's sweet voice is laced with lust. She sings along to the 80s guitar and bass. It is a really fun song that is supposed to be fun. The music video shows that and dances along the edge of a dreamlike landscape and the reality of a mundane life. I fell in love with this song instantly as I knew what it was doing, and Sunmi knew what she was doing with this song. I really love this release, and I hope I'll be seeing more releases, perhaps a mini album from Sunmi this year. So that's part 1 done. I'll get part 2 out soon, hopefully. If you watch me ranting about my thoughts all the way through, thank you so much. It is really all appreciated, any support at all. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you agreed, that's good. If you disagree, please tell me why, because I'm actually really interested to know, and your thoughts are valid as well. So yeah, subscribe to stick around for the next part. Thank you.